Here we go. We got another one. Talk to us, sir.
This is a very, very, very unique one.
Right. I was going to think we were going to say another one.
We always say the same thing, yeah.
This is going to be a good one. But this is going to be a good one, but there's uniqueness.
Yeah, there's a very unique
and there's
one.
A story behind it.
This is like, actually, the reason why we started the page was for these entrepreneurial stories. That was actually one of the original ideas. I never finished the story with you.
Continue with that. Continue with that. I mean, that's one of our biggest goals was always saying we want to shed light to regular a day in Miami folk that people don't know what the hell is going on.
Mm-hmm. The Miami entrepreneurs.
There's so much either stories or stuff like that, but this story, which we're going to talk about in camera now, this story for me is like, we're both fascinated with this because of how this started. And I'm going to be truthful right now. I did a video of this the other day with one of our interns, and I was like fascinated with it because I loved it. And I really didn't know what tallow was. And the intern's the one that's telling me what tallow is. And then I always comment that, our administrative assistant here at the office she's our everything. She's our director of whatever. She's a young woman in heart, and she says, "Oh, I use tallow every day." And I'm like, "What the heck?" So with that said,
Matthew,
welcome, Matthew.
For the people who don't know you, and tell them a little about yourself and your little history.
Hey guys, I'm Matthew. Hey, first, and thank you guys for this opportunity.
We're glad you're here with us.
This is
and sharing the story.
Yeah, it's very meaningful. I was born and raised here in Miami, West Kendall more specifically. I live in Orlando currently.
Shout out to Kendall. Kendall in the house.
Yeah, we got
We have Kendall in Westchester. You're originally from Westchester.
I haven't said otherwise. I love Westchester.
And so me and my wife started this business, Healthy Soul, about close to 3 years ago.
Okay.
And what inspired this was she has her own story. She has a better story than mine. But for me particularly.
Good husband, you got to make those comments.
Oh, no, but it's true for real.
Bing, bing, point. Okay.
So I used to have a lot of bad back acne, right? When I was growing up in high school, out of college. A very big insecurity of mine at the time. Red, inflamed pimples, blackheads. And I would use, the typical drugstore skincare cosmetics. When the pandemic hit, I stopped using that hygiene routine that I kept. I just used water to bathe myself. And within 2 weeks, I noticed my skin starting to get better. So just something that kind of stuck with me for a long time. Like, I was spending hundreds of dollars a month on these products that were they would do a decent job, but it still existed. And I relied on those products to maintain those mediocre results. And through the exclusion of those ingredients is where I healed and I got healthier. Fast forward a couple of years into the future, I have a holistic fitness page, and broke. 30,000 followers doesn't mean anything when when you're just posting stuff online, still living in your mom's house, smoking weed every day. This is where I was at this point in my life. So my wife at the time, girlfriend, she just. I don't know. She believed in me. She liked me a lot, I guess.
Yeah.
And with her, we started this. Why this? Because in order to, I wanted to provide value to my audience. I wanted to also start making money. I need to make money.
So you're leveraging your holistic Instagram page with this product.
Exactly.
That was the idea.
Yeah. And tallow, it's been a trending ingredient. It's been on a rocket ship over the past couple of years. And at the time, we saw it already. Tallow bombs were coming, was a big thing. No one was making tallow soap. Soap is a much more intensive process to make. A tallow bomb, you just whip up some tallow, some essential oils, mix it, and you got your tallow bomb right there. This requires curing and sodium hydroxide. We could get into those things later, but we made our first batch. I mixed
at your house. You were just making fun.
So we were in Los Angeles at the time. That's where she lived, in a little apartment. Off a little pot, some tallow, coconut, olive oil, sodium hydroxide. It's a caustic soda. It saponifies and hardens the fats. I used an aluminum spoon, an heirloom, passed down from her grandmother. And when you mix aluminum and sodium hydroxide, you get white smoke, dangerous. It corrodes the metal.
Wow.
Spoon. And
Cahoots.
Yeah, so first batch, no good. Next day, we tried it again. I was there mixing for 20 minutes with a little, the same kind of mixer that you mix, cake batter.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And 20 minutes. It's not supposed to take 20 minutes long, but I stuck with it till the end, and I think that it's kind of a beautiful foreshadowing to what this business has become, because we're still growing. We are in Sprouts nationwide. We're the only tallow bar soap in Sprouts nationwide. The first one. There will be more. And currently, managing 12 employees. We went from 2 to 12, and now we're here.
Okay, but let me dive into that a little bit. So, is any of you what is chemist or something like that? You guys background, you or your wife, or you just just woke up, or
Of
just
course.
said, okay, in one of those days that you were smoking weed, you have a revelation, you had a moment, and you said, I'm seeing things. I mean, I don't know.
No, not at all. Not at
That
all.
was damn good weed.
Can you share it?
that made you come up with this,
No,
but
not at all, dude. So I inspired by other brands and people doing some beautiful things, of course, because we're trying to make people healthier. And my wife, she is a graphic designer. She designed all of these beautiful things, all of our branding assets, all the colors.
Very, very native, very organic, very,
Nice.
She came up with a name as well.
Yeah.
And I was a massage therapist before becoming a fitness influencer. Okay. Nothing related to chemistry or soap making. I didn't go to soap school. I didn't go to anything
Does that
like
actually
that.
exist?
I'm courses online. You can buy stuff. Nothing
what
like
doesn't
that.
exist?
Yeah, it's true.
So I think that should speak to the simplicity of not of soap, but then just the simplicity of health in general. Mm-hmm. Because soap has been something that's been around for thousands of years. How they were making it thousands of years ago was, I love this story. Imagine a hunter-gatherer era caveman people roasting a goat over a fire. The fat drips down into the ashes of the wood. Mm-hmm. Rain comes and washes that mixture down into the streams or the lakes, and then the people the next day notice a little shimmery thing on the water, and when they go into the water, they realize that their clothes and their bodies are coming out clean, because that's what soap is. It's sodium hydroxide, which that's what wood ash is comprised of, mixed with fat and water. And it could be a fat from olive oil, coconut oil. It could be animal fat.
Got you.
And that's sodium hydroxide is what hardens the oil into making it's the process called saponification. And at the end, you're left with a chemically changed oil that, instead of making you more dirty, it lifts impurities and dirt off of your skin. So our thought was, let's go back to what soap used to be made of, because the soap today is filled with highly refined coconut derivatives, synthetic ingredients, and the worst of all, synthetic fragrances. We use essential oils for our fragrance, which is just, plant extracts.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And you should think of your skin as something that eats, because anything you put on it, it absorbs and eats, just like how your body inside would be. So our philosophy is, if you can't eat it, it's not going in our soap. This is fine dining for your skin.
I'm seeing the whole logo. I like it says it here. This is fine dining for your skin. That's spectacular. I love that. So tell me a little bit about the fact of when did you guys realize, we all aspire, and we were talking off camera, this is why we do a day in Miami, right? We do a day in Miami because we like to spotlight all these stories and give people inspiration and saying, wow, I can do that. Yeah. When did you and your wife sat down there and just say,
we got something
mm-hmm. good here? You know what I'm saying? That you really know. Is it, your first 100 sales, your first 20 sales? You say, damn.
Yeah. So, the back in the day when, the 5 orders we would get every day was so thrilling compared to now. But number one is just our faith in God, just trying to provide something healthy to the world, because it is healthy,
Okay.
and we want to just serve people, right? So that with... I guess when we realized it was something that can really provide for us, and when we went all in, it took a good year and a half for us to get to the point. Yeah, and before that, all of the money was going to us. It was going to giving us food, paying for our rent. It was sustaining us, and we really see this as like our baby. It took care of us.
Like, you used to have your side job, or
I've been all in on this from day one.
From day one.
Yeah, she was doing personal training stuff. Yeah.
Listen, for those people, I know you've explained that a little bit in layman terms, and for those people who don't know what tallow is, okay, Can you explain a little bit of where tallow is derived from? I know it has to do with the animals, and how it's kind of like created and been able to turn into a soap.
So tallow is the rendered fat from cattle. So cows produce a lot of fat, and it's in this country, especially, it's looked at as a waste of the the butchering process because
They would just throw it away.
It's discarded. Back in the day, they would use it for soap. It was more commonly used for soap, for candles, for baked goods. But nowadays, with the thought is as much meat as cheap as possible. This is waste. They can't really sell it either. No one's buying it. So what you do is you take the fat, you render it, meaning you just heat it up, let the oil separate itself, filter it, and then tallow is the cleaner, just fat of that process. So
I see people cooking with it a lot now too.
Yeah, because it's a very healthy fat. It's filled with saturated fats, other vitamins.
But I don't see it a lot in stores for whatever reason.
It's coming
out more.
Yeah, especially
to cook with. You're talking about versus the oils.
Correct. Versus seed oils and everything.
Yeah.
No, you're seeing it. I see it in the Publix, dude. So when it's tapping into those grocers, there's something big. You'll especially find it in Whole Foods, Sprouts, natural health food stores.
Yeah, I would think that this is very huge in the whole and in all those
absolutely,
health food
absolutely,
stores, 100%. Yeah. So let me ask you this. So let's dive into a little bit more on the benefits of all this. So apart from soap, right? I was reading in my notes, okay. How can the tallow and everything repair with after with sun?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially us living in Miami or even the people living in California.
Yeah.
To especially the heat that's right now going on.
Summertime.
You know what I'm saying? The summertime. What are the benefits? Is there benefits with that to protect your skin with this?
For sure.
Yeah.
So when you think of the fatty acids that comprise tallow, not to get super technical, but different oils have different acids at different ratios: stearic acid, linoleic acid, all of it. So our bodies are also made of all of our cells have fat in them, so it has a fatty acid composition of its own. Tallow is very similar. It's probably the closest fats to that of our skin as far as what fatty acid comprises of. So when your skin eats this tallow, when you apply it to your skin, it recognizes that, and it's sort of like your body is able to use the vitamins in it more effectively.
No way.
Yeah. So as healing as well, when with a sunburn, some scrapes, even just raw straight tallow, that's nutrient. Again, dude, you have to really see your skin as not just protecting the inside. It's really eating. It's doing a lot of things with the environment. So when you're feeding yourself in a different way,
Gotcha.
Okay, no, I love it. That's,
But question.
Yeah.
If I put on, like, I have notoriously dry skin. If I'm using tallow every day, will that heal the dry skin as well and avoid me from having to use lotions?
Mm-hmm. So
I'm like big on lotions because I don't like my skin to look dry.
Yeah. So I love to take the approach of honesty 100% every time. I make soap, right? I want to make money. I want to help people. But the caveat is that everything I truly believe as far as health goes, even if it's skin, if it's or skin issues or something deeper, it's kind of internal, right? So it's through diet, it's through proper maintenance of your hormones.
I agree.
So number one, it's
healthy.
I'm always going to tell you diet. Yeah, for sure. Whole foods, organic, non-processed foods. That will go a long way for sure. But for some people, which was in my case, because I healed through I was still eating kind of like crappy back then, but I healed through the exclusion of those products. Some people for sure, all they need is just need to swap the products, even if they're eating McDonald's or processed foods every day. I don't know why, it's just a genetic thing that, it differs person to person, but I do recommend for people, if you have skin issues, the easiest thing, because, to give someone with skin issues a whole diet, that takes consistency, playing around with what foods are causing inflammation and time. This is an easy thing. This is throw out the Dove and Dr. Squatch and Old Spice and use this instead. That's number one. That's the easiest thing you can do. And then maybe your skin will heal right there. If not, then you got now.
But you know what he says? That I have the Dove and all that stuff, right? That I use.
Yeah.
And I'm like a guy, I don't know how you are. I know you're probably a little bit different than me, but I have one tank of the spray thing that's just like shampoo, conditioner, and body wash mixed in one.
The 8
I
one.
just all the way down.
man.
I wash my.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Realizing that I was getting acne here on top. Remember, you were telling me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, coño, why am I getting this acne here? And I stopped using it, and it went away.
A lot of those, all of those products. I mean, we're not shedding, bad light on, but a lot of those products aren't good. They start covering your pores and stuff like that. That it doesn't, it's clogging them. So,
but I had no idea that. I mean, why would I sell that? I don't know. It's not
well, I mean, listen, they sell. It's the fact of who buys.
So that speaks to so you had a reaction. Synthetic fragrances are probably the most problematic ingredients in those products. There's others,
and that's probably the number one buying reason. Oh, because it smells good,
Correct.
Right. So the think of that. So you were using this 8-in-1 shampoo, whatever it was, and you were getting acne.
Yeah.
So think of how your body reacts to poison. It vomits. It's
fever,
anything, all sorts of things.
That's a good point.
So that's your body telling you, hey, we don't like this. Yeah. So look, this past Sunday, I went to for Father's Day to my dad's house. They had the Yankee candles, the incense, the Glade plugins, the Febreze. It was really bad. So, and there was 3 different reactions I noticed. So my wife immediately got a headache. I recognized the scent. I found it repulsive, but I didn't have a reaction besides that. Just psychologically, I knew what was going on. And then my family, I hear comments like, aquí huele rico, or my mom loves, synthetic fragrances and all that. So some people have the olfactory senses. It's very related to the limbic system, that controls emotions. That's why when you smell like a dish from your childhood, you get this feeling of happiness. And,
It's so funny you say that, but that happens to me with copper tone. But anyway, that's the point. When I smell a copper, it just takes me back to my beach years.
That's a good point.
See, beautiful example. It
happens.
So these products with synthetic fragrances are kind of designed to hijack your brain and how you perceive these scents. So they did a super interesting study one time where they just ran they put different Febrezes in the air, synthetic fragrances in the air, and some people can't they don't feel like their house is clean unless they smell that.
Correct.
Right.
Stuff.
I mean,
so
true.
That's genius, manipulation of the senses that these companies are kind of putting out there in order for you to buy your products.
Which you see it in every focus group you do, by the way, because we would do a lot of focus groups that with a lot of with people at different stores that we represent, and people did not feel, it's a very good point you're saying, the people in the focus group, you would say, does your house smell clean? No, it didn't smell the pine sol or the mistolin and all those things of the world. It didn't smell that. No, my house doesn't smell clean. Now, if it's has no fragrance, but it cleans your house.
It's not clean. It's not.
You don't feel like it's working.
But that's, to your point, is you're actually 100%.
You touched on something that I've been saying for a bit now, and it's funny that I find someone that says the same thing. Those Hotel One smells, the Aroma 360s and things, there's people who are connecting them to their AC units.
Yeah.
Right? And I went to a friend's house that her mother has it, and it smelled. I left. My clothes smelled like it. My hair smelled like it. And I called my buddy and I said, brother, your mom is smelling this all day long. I'm telling you right now, in 20 years or 30 years or 50 years, they're going to call a study that these hotel fragrances, this thing is giving people cancer or something like that. It is impossible that you're smelling that all day long. You're not smelling fresh air, and you're not going to get affected by it. My wife, we have 3 Aroma 360s. I turn them off. And she goes, no, we need a bigger one to connect. And I said, absolutely not. I said, if I can't breathe at night and just breathe aromas all day long. I'm like, I like to breathe like that fresh air. So now that you're saying that, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
huh?
and unfortunately,
he's an open window guy.
Yeah, I am an open window guy.
That's my style.
He knows very well.
And unfortunately
But you're right. You're right.
It's just too much.
For some people, like my mom too, they're not getting any obvious reactions to it. They're used to it, and yeah, over time we'll just have to see what happens.
But you can make candles with this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We sell candles with tallow,
which is it can give you that nice lavender smell, but not with not the one that he was now in
without synthetic fragrance.
He was now in the Father's Day thing, which it probably did not go very well because he didn't like the whole smell.
You're just turning off candles, mom.
No, we did.
It's like you're here for Father's Day. But at the end of the day, I mean, I tell you this much: I'm a fan of all this. I mean, I love all this. Anything that comes out and stuff like that,
especially health related stuff too.
I'm a fan, and I tell you that I'm guilty of the fact that I like the smell a little bit too, but I like the fact of the natural, oils,
essential oils.
That you're not doing anything synthetic. You know what I'm saying? You're doing something that's natural. So I mean, this is great. So tell me a little about where are you guys now? Are you where are you selling this? Where's your best way to buy this? Where can all of the A Day in Miami audience say I want to buy tallow soap?
And also if you can touch on how you secured that contract with Sprouts, I'm curious about that.
Sure. So we sell 99% of our business is through our own website.
Okay.
HealthySoulSoap.com. And that's where people will get the best prices as well. Where we're at now is we are producing more soap than ever. On the grand scheme of things, it's still very small. We do want to tallow soap domination. That's the name of our goal, our operation.
Okay. Tallow soap domination.
Yes, and that means not just remaining the number one tallow soap brand in the country, but also to start competing against other natural soap brands.
Yeah,
and to do that, we need to be on a large scale. We need to make tens of thousands of bars every day. We do all the manufacturing ourselves. This is not like we hired a co-manufacturer with a copy and paste recipe.
So you open the spot up and
Sorry?
About the machines and everything? You open the spot up?
Yeah, we're scaling.
We're scaling. Okay,
yeah. We're still 2,000 bars daily. That's
your capacity right now.
Right now, yeah. Gotcha. But yeah, no scaling that. We're playing it steady. The long game.
It's a lot of bars.
And how we got into Sprouts was there's this distributor who. So Sprouts is the most innovative, forward-thinking retailer in the holistic. Health
I didn't know that.
They are for sure. If you go into Sprouts, they have so many amazing products that you won't find in even Whole Foods. So we're very definitely worth checking out every day. So their distributor, the distributor was told, hey, we want some tallow products. See what you can find.
Yeah.
And they hit us up. So after 6 months of kind of going back and forth, silences, sending products, waiting on emails, 3 weeks before Christmas, Sprouts said, hey, we want like 10,000 bars.
No way.
Get it to us in a month.
That's massive.
Yeah, so I told my employees, hey guys, let's do it.
Let's go.
Will you guys join me? Can are you guys willing to let's really make this happen? And we did. So currently we have one SKU. It's our fragrance free in Sprouts nationwide.
Gotcha.
And
so these the fragrance ones.
These are all the fragrance ones. Yeah,
but they're not in Sprouts.
They're not in Sprouts.
Why is that? I'm curious.
Because so some new scents just launched this weekend, like the vanilla, the mojito. The other ones they would be willing to accept it. It's just we make more money selling ourselves. The Sprouts relationship for an operation like ours, it's actually kind of. It's challenging.
Doesn't make sense. Yeah.
So we like the thought of being in a national retailer. We want to maintain that relationship. We get messages all the time saying, "Hey, I went to Sprouts. You're sold out," and that's been the case since we were in January. We sell out. We sell very well in Sprouts. The thing is, until we are able to mass produce, we do want to keep like the business mostly like in house, just because it's more profitable that way.
Got you. And how long does a tallow bar of soap usually last? Like if you use it once or twice a day?
It's crazy long. We've had testimonials for up to 3 months that a bar would last.
And I hear, not to cut you off, but I hear a lot about that. I've been seeing it everywhere now. You put your little bar of soap and supposedly it builds a lot of bacteria and stuff while it's sitting there. Is that true? Or
so soap won't build bacteria because soap is naturally antibacterial. The composition of it bacteria doesn't like to grow on soap, even if it's made with ingredients like ours. what makes our soap last long is because we use mostly tallow. We use a little bit of coconut and olive oil because if we did tallow only, it would last longer, but it wouldn't give you that cleansing power. Olive oil and coconut oil are good at cleansing.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, because people want to feel that.
Of course.
Yeah. That's
that freshness that you feel at the end of the shower.
That's important. Yeah.
We have a tallow only bar. I used it one day after working out, being in the sun. In the shower, I used it and I felt like still sticky while in the shower. And then I grabbed like our regular bars that have the other coconut oils and stuff. And that's where I actually felt
a little bit different.
Yeah. So the other one's kind of more meant for very sensitive skin and for like light cleaning.
So like out of the ones that we have here, which ones are which ones would that be? Like,
actually, I'm interested to know.
Yeah.
What are the top sellers, like the fragrance ones?
Correct.
So this one is going to be a killer. This one we just launched this weekend. The
vanilla milkshake.
Yeah.
Vanilla milkshake.
That one's for sure, I think, going to be one of our top selling SKUs. And then after, we have lemongrass eucalyptus.
This one right here.
That's our best selling of our classic.
That was, you sent me
it's
that
phenomenal.
One. And this
phenomenal.
I love both lemongrass and eucalyptus.
I've been using the lavender one. Yeah, I love the lavender one.
Oh, I'm glad you took one.
Above them all is fragrance free because we are.
I said I wanted to take something. Oh, we can't take it. We need it here for the content shoot. Now I know where it's at.
No, but I wanted to say that I can talk about it. You know,
I got it. It's fine.
You haven't used the soap?
No, I couldn't find. I don't know where the box was. They disappeared it, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm glad you're here. This is what happens. I find out things now. These are things. I find out things.
But
this is my segment. The things that make you go, when I keep on finding things there. They sent something. Manny, did you try it? No, but it's okay. We got them now. All this is staying here. It's going in my office, locked up right now. But continue. So you were saying something because it's very important to me. I like the soap, but I don't want to stay like that. Of
course.
Sticky.
But
I want to know that.
Do you use pump soap? No, you don't use the pump soap. Or you use bar soap.
I
was always a body wash guy.
I am a bar soap person.
Oh wow, I didn't know.
Perfect. Yes,
I was a body wash guy.
I like bar soap.
We do make our own version of like the 6-in-1 soap. So it's tallow, honey, and the same oils.
You sent us one, but there was like a bunch of ingredients in the bag on how to do it. It's like with water, with this, with that.
Those are suggestions because it is a $25 bottle, So it's just to make your soap last as long as.
So I can go straight to it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, right. So by the way, that was a question that we had.
Yeah.
Because we opened up and if you gotta mix this, you gotta mix that.
Correct.
So we would say we gotta ask them.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know.
Yeah. I thought it was like mandatory. You had to do those things.
No. Oh, with certain brands like Bronner's is a really good one. That they are 100% natural. They're just heavily. They heavily use coconut, palm oil, olive oil, which, again, like I mentioned, these are very good oils at cleansing your skin. But when you use it, when you use a product that's 100% comprised of it, it does such a good job that your skin starts to feel dry. And that's been a bunch of like just our own customer testimonials when they switch from other brands is, these brands have dried my skin out. That's because although they are natural, there's no synthetic fragrances. There's a limit, there's a balance. Tallow, like I said, it being compatible with your skin, it's more gentle. It doesn't do that good of a job of cleansing. It cleanses, just not too much, where you want natural oils in your skin. That's what keeps you healthy and, moisturized naturally.
Got you. You said something earlier. I don't know. You said something earlier about people having a lot of like acne and stuff like that.
I'm glad you. That's especially young people.
And I've always felt like bad. I've seen friends that are like that, like having a face full of acne. Is this something that helps them with that, or can you shine a little bit of light on why that happens? Is that diet? I'm just always been naturally curious.
Yeah. So diet, like I said, number one, inflammation. General inflammation is going to manifest in different ways, whether it's stress, brain fog, fatigue, acne, joint pain. It's holistic. It depends person to person what is going to happen. Acne is.
I love holistic medicine. I think it's fabulous.
We love it. Over here.
And there's good holistic doctors out there, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, and more coming. Coming. It's more people are paying attention to their health more than ever. I can't believe that we have someone in the White House cabinet who is. This was my number voting. I do lean a little conservative, but my number one issue was fixing the food system. Stop feeding our children poisons, and I feel blessed that we're living in a time where there's some people making that
with
happen
RFK.
now. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, listen, RFK came out during Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, for whatever reason, it's the first time I ever heard of tallow.
Yeah.
And he was baking the turkey and frying the turkey in tallow. And I was like, what's tallow, you know?
Yeah.
And here we are with Matt making tallow soap, you know? So we're behind the clock.
No, we're behind the 8 ball, you know? I mean...
as entrepreneurs, you know?
We got to get RFK here.
Yeah.
So we go ahead and chat about
So
that.
you were happy about RFK coming in?
Sorry?
You were happy about RFK.
Oh, yeah,
you know, I think
sure.
a lot of people were too, you know?
For those reasons.
Well, there's people that are and aren't. But at the end of the day, again, I always say that we do not take those views here, but I'm just saying we shed the light because then we give the information so people can make their decision. You know what I'm saying? If you're okay with the fact of the die and you want to keep on giving that to your kid, that's up to you. That's on you. But there's somebody there giving you now the reason. We never had that. We never had somebody give an explanation.
Correct.
You follow me? So then basically, comes down to this podcast, what was tallow? And then basically, we're seeing the Secretary of Health, doing, frying something with tallow.
Yep.
And now we're getting a
a
good explanation of what the tallow was because I didn't even know of where the tallow come. And let's take this a little back now. And again, these are my thoughts with the craziness. But anyway, this is where you see where your ancestors, right, that were my grandparents, my great-grandparents from Cuba. They never believed in all this things of this oil or this seed oil. They would do the fat from the pig. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Manteca.
I mean,
Manteca. That's what it was.
And I can tell you, all of my grandfather, my great-grandfather, 98, 99, and all those people ate in all their places over there that they would get, what they call like cubeta, and they would get like the manteca, and they would do like either like carne puerco, they would do this, they would do the fried steak, they would do the chicken. Nobody had anything clogged about anything.
Yeah.
So that makes you, again, things will make you go, it's like you think about that.
Yeah.
And tallow is that same thing, natural from the cow. Mm-hmm. So, there's some reasoning there.
So the fat from pig is not considered tallow then?
It's lard.
It's lard.
Yeah. It's
Got
different.
you.
It's just a different name. But
lard, yeah.
But you can use that for soap as well,
yeah,
too.
it's not in the works yet, but that's my next big, it's lard soap. That's going to be amazing.
Oh, wow. So you got some breaking news here or what? Talk to us about your next project then.
So we do have other products like Bone Balm. That's the one that you like to use. We have a candle. Soap is our bread and butter, and that's where we find that we can make the biggest impact. That's where we've invested a lot of our skills and money into just developing. But the goal is kind of after tallow soap domination, it's just everything: home care, other kinds of cosmetics, clothing, food, anything where we can just start to help people become healthier. Because you asked me earlier on why people's skin can people's skin clear up after using our products. It has for hundreds, and you'll find that in our comments and reviews.
I've seen the testimonials.
So it can. Why has that been the answer for some people and some people? I can't tell you why. But the thought is just trying to go back to what our ancestors would do before, because we look back and those were the healthiest people ever. They didn't have cancers.
I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
They didn't have cancers and arthritis and all of these chronic diseases that pop up like at the scale that we have it now. So going back, this has become like a red pill for many people, because my red pill was the animal-based diet. You've had a guess. The chief, I think, mentioned animal-based.
Yeah, animal-based.
So this has been red pills for other people into deeper health things, because once you follow us or you start seeing tallow trends, now you start thinking about tallow as an actual food. Oh, it's better than canola and vegetable oil. Okay, I'm going to start doing that. And then now you start tapping into, so this is the thing with fragrances. Okay, now I'm going to switch to candles and natural stuff. Oh, candles release a lot of red lights, and now I'm reading this thing about blue light and how it's horrible for your sleep. So okay, I'm gonna start getting infrared and red lights around my house, and then it just goes deeper until you're just a changed person, healthier and just more awake, more aware.
I was gonna how bad is, I mean, going back a little bit, because I know that we do, we do these little teaser clips, but I think we've talked about so much, but I want to get like a pointed question. How bad is these fragrances that are infused in these type of products that we use every day?
Fragrances, and people react differently to fragrances, but fragrances are poison. How your body reacts to fragrances, it's a poison, because if you think of headaches, of breakouts, of itchiness, of allergies, and for me, it's like my throat, the back of my throat hurts when I smell these synthetic fragrances. That's your body outright right there, obviously telling you, hey, this is not something that I like, and we should get rid of that. Synthetic fragrances are made of phthalates, just heavily refined, chemically altered products to produce delicious scents. Like these synthetic fragrances hijack your olfactory bulbs in order for you to want to smell in order to feel clean, or some people actually become addicted to these fragrances. But that's enemy number one when it comes to any kind of skincare cosmetic. It's the one ingredient, when you look back and look at the ingredients list, if that's there, that should be a hard no. Yeah.
Got you.
No. I mean, I'm just excited with this. I love this. I love the story. Again, I'm very big on the stories. I love the fact of, your thought and your wife's thought, in the sense of taking, what our ancestors did and bringing it back, and really looking into the fact of bringing, healthier stuff to our children and overall everybody. And I mean, every day and day you see a little bit more.
If I may, can I tell you my wife's story? So she had endometriosis. So that's if you guys don't know, It's so it plays.
It's a barrier for not having kids too.
Huge. So it's when there's tissue that grows outside of the uterus. It can cause very painful cramps, and that's what she had. Very painful cramps. She was on birth control. The doctor's answers at the time was to give her birth control in order to help with the cramps. So it did, but birth control doesn't allow you to have kids.
Correct.
Yeah. So she's been dealing with endometriosis. She was dealing with it for about a decade. And it was one day after her eating like some processed food, she had a horrible cramping that day. So she started looking into holistic methods to heal. And it was cutting out processed foods, eating healthy, getting sunlight, working out. And interestingly enough, it's cutting out synthetic ingredients from shampoos, toothpaste, perfume, soap. And that was the reason why that's her big story on why she wanted to start this, because they were telling her, hey, you with this disease, you might not get pregnant.
Kids. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And now we have a super healthy baby.
Just had a baby,
10 months old.
That's awesome. Congratulations, brother.
Yeah, dude, thank you. And it's been a blessing. That's why we care so much about this, because this is giving that opportunity to many people who are suffering and who can't experience a life that's a healthy one. Not for any fault of their own. It's just our environment is full of these things, and we can control it. It's just we need to bring that awareness. We need to plant the seeds. And
how much is a bar like this? Like at the
we sell one bar for $12.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's kind of last 3 months. So
I mean, hell. Yeah. I mean, if you divide that, I mean, come on.
$4.
Yeah.
Hey, I just have 2 more questions I was going to ask. I don't know if you...
Go ahead, sure.
All right. So you said something to me very earlier before we started talking. You said something interesting to me, that it's, for the most part, the opposite of what people say when they leave Miami. So you told me that you miss Miami, right? And you kind of gave me some reasons and stuff. I want you to tell people you moved over to Orlando, but you started the business here in Miami. What is it that you miss about the city?
It's the culture, the people. I don't get to have these conversations so lively and hearing the Cuban accent, hearing the stories over and over.
Having all the different accents. Yeah. Remember, my biggest motto is I call this Miami, USA. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't call this Miami, Florida. I call this Miami, USA. Yeah. Absolutely. We're our own country here. Yeah. People don't understand that. We are our own country.
But it's funny because a lot of people always say Miami sucks and this and that.
Oh, screw them.
And and you have him here. Yeah, I want to come back to Miami.
No, I think this is the best city in the country.
If they don't like it, they don't have to be here.
Yeah.
I mean, for all of its faults and possible negative things, I think there's nowhere other in the country that's like this. It's Latin America,
absolutely,
in a way, but you get the freedom, you get forward,
and we have everything. We have every culture. We have USA. Everything involved in one. I'm changing. I'm in the midst of changing so much stuff. I mean, I'm from Miami, USA. I want to change the song of New York, New York. I want to call it Miami.
If you can make it Miami,
if you can make it anywhere. You can make it anywhere. I mean, New York, maybe X amount of years ago. Now it's Miami. If you can go ahead and sell to the broad, spectrum of everybody, of every nationality exists in Miami, you're good. You're golden.
Yeah. And honestly, a lot of times these type of products, like when you tell someone to do an e-commerce brand and to go to market with something like that, it's usually like you're like, hey, who am I going against? That's the first thing. But you guys have really carved something out for yourself.
Before we go, Matt, I just want to say something. I obviously I was at a meeting. I had to come over here. I'm happy that we made this podcast. I mean, this is great.
He's gonna ask if you're looking for investors.
Shedding light on this, I think, is spectacular. And the fact of, again, I'm all for entrepreneurship. I think it's, again, that's one of the reasons we wanted to do this show. There's so many people out there that question themselves. I mean, it's not easy.
Not easy.
For you to just say, I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm going to get into this. Your wife is doing that. I hate to say it, but, it takes, in every sense of the word, to people say, I'm going to start mixing this in my house and take it to a store, take it to brand, put it on, on Amazon, put it online, wherever you're going to do it. But before we go, I see one of the reasons why you guys really made it. And I love the fact that you put here, it's Florida made, but God led. And I think that's a spectacular thing that you guys put that in the box, because I'm sure you put your trust in that, and you said, let's take it from here.
That's the only reason why we're here. I never owned a business before this.
That's awesome.
Not a chemist, not a business owner. Just blowing up.
You see what we bring you a day in Miami, fans. You see what we bring you. We bring you. You can't tell me you can't be inspired with these stories. You can't be. You got to be inspired with this.
My first business, this is not how first businesses are supposed to go. It's like,
nothing
launched,
is, brother.
Yeah. So we
burned a lot of cash, and I don't know what I did wrong.
Sometimes,
we believe in luck, but we also think that everything happens for a reason. And
absolutely,
what we are thinking is, God is the owner. We're just the people who happen to be here, and let's just try our best.
That's it.
See what happens. But not to say that there was a lot of hard work, smart decisions made, mistakes made, and learned. But number one thing is, just forward. It's always just forward. It's all opportunities to just get better.
Well, before we go, Ed's going to ask you a question, but I'm interested to know in the question that he's going to ask you, because I know that you're going to give us something good, healthy places that people do not know of, and that's important. So go ahead and ask your question, Mr. Moya.
I'm very curious to know, because of your lifestyle. So, what are your top 3 restaurants?
Okay, so
or your go-to
spots.
I'm gonna give you a mix. All right, let's say, and to give some. All right,
you gotta tell us the name and then why.
Okay, let's give some love to Kendall. All right, let's go to Mr. and Mrs. Bun. Okay. It's a Peruvian-inspired sandwiches. It's a nice little take on. I mean, Peruvian cuisine is amazing.
It is. It's spectacular.
I appreciate any kind of new ways to do it.
Yeah, I know them very well. I know both of them. Yeah, very well.
Let's go with La Ronde. This is a new one I found up in South Beach by South Point, next to the South Point Tower. La Ronde. It's a seed oil free burger joint.
Oh wow!
So fries fried in tallow, grass fed beefs.
I love what we do. I love what we do. There you go.
Yeah. La Ronde.
La Ronde. And what's another one?
And over here in Miami, let's see.
Or something in Orlando. It's fine. Give us something in Orlando. Okay. Show some love to Old Town.
Yeah,
Old Town, we love Old Town.
Listen, I go to Orlando a lot. My daughters are in dance competition. I always have to go to Orlando.
I know a little more. So do we want to go Mexican, Turkish?
No, whatever you like.
Your go-to. You're saying, you know what? Okay. I'm going to go here.
Can I give 2 more?
Go for it, bro. Yeah,
of course.
So, seed oil free, healthy take on traditional Mexican cooking. Hunger Street Tacos in Winter Park. Seed oil free. They used tallow and lard for the ingredients. Wow. The owners there are very traditional with their methods. Good nixtamalized corn. Corn is a bad crop to be eating, but when it's done right, it can be very healthy. Yeah, corn is because it's GMO, dude. It's all
I love corn.
It's all alien, like copy paste. Grows in a week, harvest it. Like so. Well, when you do it right, when you do heirloom corn, it's delicious and healthy. And my number one,
give it to us. Number one,
Bosphorus. It's a Turkish restaurant, also in Winter Park. I take business partners, friends, family. I love taking people there. Not everything's seed oil free, but I can, I'm not too worried about that. I do my best, and seed oils are not going to do anything.
Right, I get you.
But I've been seeing people like on strike at Carbone for seed oil, like in New York. I've seen these videos online, and I'm like, all of a sudden, nobody wants seed oils. I mean, I get it. It's good that we're about finding the evolution.
Listen, Matt, this has been very enlightening.
Probably one of the more interesting ones.
Very enlightening. Yeah. I'm telling you, we never get surprised with these podcasts. I mean, the great thing is that people think that we do like this. Matt got here, we just got into it, and we just started asking questions. Matt, bro, much success.
Thank you, man.
And I will welcome you back to Miami.
Godspeed, brother.
The doors are open for you here.
I'll see this somewhere. Don't go to Shark Tank.
No,
don't go to Shark Tank.
I'd like to be back, man. Thank you, guys.
No Shark Tank. We'll do our own Shark Tank series here. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. That was fun, man.